Jane and Dan aren't overweight.
Are Jane and Dan overweight?
Are Jane
No,
and Dan
Jane and Dan
overweight?
aren't overweight.
No, Jane and Dan aren't overweight. They're slim.
Are they slim? Yes, they're slim.
Are they slim? Yes, they're slim. They used to be overweight.
Did they used to be overweight? Yes, that's correct.
Did they used
They
to be overweight? Yes, they used to be overweight. Who used to be overweight?
Who used to be overweight?
Well,
Where is
it's Jane and Dan.
Jane and Dan
used to be overweight. Two years ago, Jane was overweight.
2 years ago, was Jane overweight?
2 years ago, was Jane overweight?
Overweight.
Yes, that's correct. Jane was overweight.
How overweight was Jane?
How overweight was Jane?
Jane
Jane was very overweight. 2 years ago, Anne was also overweight.
2 years ago, was Anne also overweight? Yes, that's correct.
2 years ago, was Anne also overweight? Yes, Anne was also overweight. How overweight was Anne? Well, Anne was a little overweight.
Was Anne? Well, Anne was a little overweight.
2 years ago, Jane and Anne were slim.
2 years ago, were Jane and Dan slim?
2 years ago, were Jane and Dan slim? No, they weren't slim.
They weren't slim.
They were actually overweight.
They were actually overweight. No, they weren't slim. They were actually overweight. How overweight were they?
How overweight were they? Well, Jane was very overweight, and Anne was a little overweight.
Well, Jane was very overweight, and Anne was a little overweight.
Now, you're going to ask questions about Kate and her brother Tom. When Kate and Tom were little, they thought Santa Claus was real.
When Kate and Tom did Kate and Tom think Santa Claus was real when they were little? Yes, Kate. They thought Santa Claus was real when they were little.
When Kate and Tom were little, did they think Santa Claus was real? Yes, they thought.
When Kate and Tom were little, did they think the Santa Claus was real? Yes, when they thought Santa Claus was real when they were little.
Santa Claus was real when they were little. They didn't think Superman was real.
Did they think Superman was real? No, they didn't think Superman was real.
Did they think Superman was real? No, they didn't think Superman was real. They didn't think that man was real.
Did they think that man was real?
Did they think that man was real? No, they didn't think that man was real. They thought someone else was real.
They thought someone else was real.
Who did they think was real? Well, they thought Santa Claus was real.
They thought Santa Claus was. They thought Santa Claus was real.
Why did they think Santa Claus was real?
Why did they think Santa Claus was real?
It's because their mother had told them once that Santa Claus.
Well, it's because her mother had told them once that the Santa was real and they were little. So they believed her. Well, it's because Their mother had told them once that the Santa was real, and they believed her.
Was real, and they believed her. They used to believe that Santa Claus was real.
Did they used to believe the Santa Claus was real?
Did they used to believe that Santa Claus was real?
Did they used to believe the Santa Claus was real? Yes, that's right. They used to believe the Santa Claus was real. And they
Yes,
were
that's what they used to believe.
Yes, that's what they used to believe. Yes, that's what they used to believe.
When Tom was a boy, he had a friend named Nick.
Did Tom has friend named Nick when
When
he
Tom was a boy, did he have a friend named Nick?
Yes.
Yes.
He had a friend named Nick when he was a boy.
That's correct. He had a friend named Nick when he was a boy. One day, Nick told him something surprising.
Did Nick tell him something surprising? Did Nick tell him something surprising one day? Did Nick tell him something surprising one day? Did Nick tell him something surprising one day? Yes.
Did Nick tell him something
Nick told him
surprising one
something
day?
surprising one day.
Yes, Nick told him something surprising one day.
What did Nick tell him?
What did Nick tell him? Well, Nick told him that Santa wasn't real.
Well, Nick told him that Santa wasn't real. Did Nick tell him the Santa wasn't real?
Did Nick tell him that Santa wasn't real?
Yes.
Yes, that's what Nick told him.
That's what Nick told him. Yes, that's what Nick told him. Did Nick told him? Did Nick tell him the Santa wasn't real? Yes, that's what Nick told him. Did Nick told him? Did Nick tell him something surprising? Yes, that's what Nick told him. Did they used to believe the Santa was real? Did they used to believe the Santa was real? Yes, that's what they used to believe.
When Tom realized that Santa wasn't real, he was surprised and sad.
When Tom realized the Santa wasn't real, did he was he surprised? Was he surprised and sad? When Tom realized the Santa wasn't real, was he surprised and sad? Yes, that's what yes, that's exactly yes, that's correct. Yes, that's how he felt. When Tom realized the Santa wasn't real, he was surprised and sad.
When Tom realized that Santa wasn't real, was he surprised and sad? Yes, he was surprised and sad.
Yes, he was surprised and sad.
He didn't feel angry.
Did he feel him angry?
Did he feel angry?
No, he
That's
didn't.
not how we felt.
No, that's not how he
didn't feel
felt.
angry.
He didn't feel him angry. No, that's not how he felt. He didn't feel angry. Feel angry. When Tom realized the Santa wasn't real, was he surprised and sad? When Tom realized the Santa wasn't real, was he surprised and sad? Yes, he was surprised. Yes, he was surprised and sad. Yes, he was surprised and sad.
How did he feel?
How did he feel?
Well,
He felt surprised and sad when he realized the Santa wasn't real.
surprised and sad.
Why was he surprised and sad? Why was he surprised
Why
and
did he
sad?
feel surprised and sad? Well, it's because before Nick told him the truth, he truly believed.
Well, it's because before Nick told him the truth, he truly believed that, that the Santa was real and he loved the Santa very much. Well, before Nick told him the truth, he truly believed the Santa was real and he loved the Santa very much.
If the Santa was real, and he loved Santa very much. When Tom got home, he did something he didn't want to do.
When Tom got home, what did he do?
What did Tom do when he got home?
Well, when he got home, he told Kate that Santa didn't actually exist. When Tom got home, he told Kate that the Santa didn't actually exist.
Well, he told Kate that Santa didn't actually exist.
Did he tell Kate that the Santa didn't actually exist?
Did he tell Kate that Santa didn't actually exist?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes,
He
that's
told
what
Kate
he
that the
told
Santa
her.
didn't actually exist.
He
Yes,
didn't tell
that's
Kate
what.
that
Yes, that's what he told her.
parents were sick.
Did he tell Kate that their parents were sick? No, he didn't tell Kate that their parents were sick.
Did he tell Kate that the parents were sick? No, that's not what he told her. He told her something else.
No, that's not he told her. He told us something else. No, that's not what he told her. He told us something else.
Actually exist.
When Tom got home, did he tell Kate that Santa didn't actually exist? Yes, that's what he told her.
Did he tell Kate that Santa didn't actually exist? Yes, that's what he told her. He didn't tell Kate that the parents were sick.
Did he tell Kate that their parents were sick? No, that's not what he told
Did
her.
he tell Kate that the parents were sick? No, that's not what he told her. He told her something else.
He told her something else. What did he tell her?
What did he tell her?
He told her that Santa didn't
Well,
actually exist.
he told her that Santa didn't actually exist. When Kate realized that Santa didn't exist, she cried.
When Kate realized the Santa didn't exist, did she cry?
When Kate realized that Santa didn't exist, Did she cry? Yes, that's what happened when she realized that Santa didn't exist.
Yes, that's what happened when that's what happened when she realized the Santa didn't exist. Yes, that's what happened when she realized the Santa didn't exist.
She didn't cry for just a few minutes.
She didn't cry for just a few minutes. Did she cry for just a few minutes? No, she didn't cry
Did she
for
cry
just a few
for
minutes.
just a few minutes?
She cried.
No, she didn't cry for
longer
just a
than
few
that.
minutes. She cried much longer than that.
She cried much longer than that. How long did she cry?
How long did she
for
cry?
almost an hour.
Well, she cried for almost an hour.
Why did she cry for almost an hour?
Why did she cry for almost an hour? Well, it's because she has learned that Santa didn't actually exist.
Well, it's because he had learned that the Santa didn't actually exist.
Now, you're going to ask questions about two sisters named Grace and Emma. Grace and Emma have pets.
Do Grace and Emma have pets? Yes, they have
Do
pets.
Grace and Emma have pets? Yes, they have pets. Their pets are dogs.
Are their pets on dogs? Are their pets dogs?
Are
No,
their
their
pets
pets are
dogs? No, their pets aren't dogs. Their pets are cats.
Are their pets cats?
Are their pets cats?
Aren't cats.
No, their pets aren't cats.
No, their pets aren't cats. What kind of animals are their pets?
What kind of animals are their pets? Well, their pets are spiders.
Well, their pets are spiders.
They think their spiders are cute.
Do they think their spiders cute?
Do they think their spiders are cute?
Yes, they
think their spiders are cute. They aren't afraid of their spiders.
Are they afraid of spiders? Are they afraid of their spiders? Are they afraid of
their spiders?
Yeah, and
No,
they
aren't afraid of their spiders. When they were young, they were afraid of spiders.
When they were young, were they afraid of spiders when they were young?
When they were young, were they afraid of spiders? Yes, they were afraid of spiders when they were young. They weren't afraid of birds.
Were they afraid of birds? No, they were afraid of birds.
Were they afraid of birds? No, they weren't afraid of birds. They were afraid of something else.
They were afraid of something else.
What were they afraid of?
What were they afraid of?
Well, they were afraid of spiders.
Spiders. Well, they were afraid of spiders.
When they were young, they didn't think spiders were cute.
When they were young, did they think their spiders were cute?
When they were young, did they think spiders were cute? No, that's not true. They didn't think spiders was cute.
No, that's not true. They didn't think the spiders were cute. What did they think about spiders?
What did they think about spiders?
They thought spiders
were really scary. They didn't think spiders were interesting.
Were they think spiders were interesting?
Did they think spiders were interesting?
Did they think spiders were interesting? No, they didn't think the spiders were interesting.
No, they didn't think spiders were interesting.
What did they think about spiders? What did they think about spiders? Well,
What
they
did they
thought
think
spiders
about
were really
spiders?
scary.
Well, they thought spiders were really scary.
Who thought spiders were really scary?
Who thought spider was really scary? Well, it was Grace and Emma who thought spiders were really scary.
Well, it was Grace and Emma. They thought spiders were really scary.
One day, Grace and Emma watched the cartoon.
One day, did Grace and Emma watch the cartoon?
Did Grace and Emma watch the cartoon one day? Yes, they watched the cartoon one day.
Yes, they watched the cartoon one day.
The cartoon wasn't about dogs.
Was the cartoon about dogs? No, the cartoon wasn't about dogs.
Was the cartoon about dogs? No, the cartoon wasn't about dogs. The cartoon wasn't about cats.
Was the cartoon about cats? No, the cartoon wasn't about cats.
Was the cartoon about cats? No, it wasn't. The cartoon was about something else.
The cartoon was about something else. What was the cartoon
about?
What was the cartoon about?
Well, the cartoon was about spiders.
Well, the cartoon was about spiders. Well, the cartoon was about spiders.
The cartoon was funny.
Was the cartoon funny? Yes, the cartoon
was the cartoon funny? Yes, the cartoon was funny.
How funny was the cartoon?
How funny was the cartoon?
Well, the cartoon was very funny.
It was very funny. The spiders in the cartoon weren't scary.
Were spiders in the cartoon
Were the
scary?
spiders in the cartoon scary? No, they weren't scary at all.
No, they weren't scary at all.
The spiders in the cartoon were cute.
The spiders in the cartoon were cute? Were spiders in the cartoon
Were
cute?
the spiders in the cartoon cute? Yes, they were cute.
They were cute. They were cute.
Before they watched the cartoon, they were afraid of spiders.
Before they watched the cartoon, were they afraid of spiders? Yes, before they watched the cartoon,
were they afraid of spiders? Yes, that's correct. Before they watched the cartoon, they were afraid of spiders. After they watched the cartoon, something interesting happened.
After they watched the cartoon,
what happened after they watched the cartoon?
What happened
after they watched the cartoon? Their fear of spiders was completely gone.
Their fear of spiders
after they watched the cartoon, they weren't afraid of spiders anymore.
After they watched the cartoon, were they still afraid of spiders?
After they watched the cartoon, were they still afraid of spiders?
After they watched the cartoon, were they still afraid of spiders?
No, they weren't. After they watched the cartoon, they weren't afraid of spiders anymore.
No, they weren't. After they watched the cartoon,
Jane and Dan aren't overweight.
They weren't afraid of spiders anymore.